If you don't feel like you are reaching your full potential, if you feel like everybody's out to get you, if you feel like life is happening to you, not for you, it's likely that your nervous system is fucked. Oh, I fucking already know how to breathe. It's probably important that I know how to breathe. Yeah, cool. Do you know how to breathe properly? You might have one night with shit sleep and you can cope and you're okay, but you start doing 14 nights in a row where you're not sleeping properly. Your nervous system, no matter what you do, no matter how many cold exposure showers you fucking have, how many breathwork sessions you do, can't fucking force it. If your nervous system is dysregulated, the number one thing you can actually do is welcome to Life by 8, your blueprint for designing your ultimate life. I'm Rebecca Grugan, your architect on this journey to building a life fully lived. Using our 8 pillars to human wellness framework, we'll explore how to transform your everyday from ordinary to extraordinary. So let's go. What the fuck is the nervous system? And why do you have to care? Well, I mean, you don't have to do anything, right? Ever. You get to choose. But you, if like many others, is scrolling on fucking socials and wasting your time, then you'll probably come across people talking about the nervous system, because at the moment, it's a buzzword. So today's episode is talking about the importance of the nervous system in everyday life and maybe just giving you some context of what the fuck it is, right? So the reason why it matters is because it is going to and is impacting your mental and physical health every single day of your life. Your nervous system is connected to stress management and your overall well-being. So if you don't feel like you are reaching your full potential, if you feel like everybody's out to get you, if you feel like life is happening to you, not for you, it's likely that your nervous system is fucked. Yes. So what is it? And what are some tips for self-regulation? Because you're not two anymore, so it's not about co-regulation. You need to actually learn how to regulate yourself. Because if you want to be in productive society, in great relationships, you need to be able to regulate yourself. So what is the nervous system? It is a complex network of nerves and cells. It is composed of neurons and glial cells. It's fucking boring shit. If you want to know more about this technical stuff, actually check out Life by 8's video. In the show notes below, you'll be able to see that link. Go and actually look at the science of it, because if I talk for half an hour about the science of this, you're going to be fucking bored, right? So it is a complex network of nerves and cells. It transmits signals between different parts of your body. Your nervous system, parts of it is like, oh, I touched the hot stove, I should move my hand. That is your nervous system. Oh, there's a lion, I should run or I'll fucking die. That is your nervous system. And if you're living somewhere where lions are able to chase you, you're probably never going to be able to get a regulated nervous system because you're fucked. You're going to get eaten. So move. Alrighty. So coordinates voluntary and involuntary actions. So sometimes we talk about reflex. So like when the doctor hits your knee with that random fucking hammer thing and your knee does that, it's involuntary. When you choose to move your hand away from the hot stove, that is voluntary. And so there's also multiple nervous systems happening at once. So you have your central nervous system, sometimes referred to as CNS. And if you do our breathwork facilitator training, we do go into this all in depth because it's really important for you to be able to make sense of that to work with clients. So your CNS, your central nervous system, is your brain and your spinal cord. The brain is the control center of your body. I feel like that makes logical sense to most of you, right? And the problem is sometimes most of you are in your brain and not actually connected to your body. And that is why your nervous system is fucked. The spinal cord, a major pathway for information to go to the brain and from the brain. And so in traditional talk therapy, like psychology, we talk about top-down approach. In somatic work, we talk about bottom-up approach. The research that's coming out with polyvagal theory and all the neuroscience that's coming out at the moment is explaining or making this make sense to people more and more that your body and your mind are connected more than we thought. It is more than just the brain. It is stored in your body. Your trauma, your feelings, your emotions, we feel before we think. The bottom-up approach is trending and coming for a reason because the science is showing that when we actually go back to our nervous system and make sure that that's regulated and we shake it off or we process and close the loops of emotions, that we actually function better. The central nervous system is your brain and your spinal cord. That is central to your body. I know, central surprisingly means the middle of you. Functions, that's sending out of that information. So your sensory information, this is where children or people with autism and ADHD, where sensory overload can become an issue. It's also why we have problems when technology's evolving faster than our bodies, is because we're having sensory overload. So many people are more fucked up than they've been in the past because their sensory information is over. They have too many things happening all at once. And then we're just making it faster because we're wanting to try to keep our attention more. And so you've probably noticed in some of my podcast episodes, you'll see that we switch screens and stuff. That's to keep your fucking attention, right? So your sensory information, if your nervous system is fucked, you are having too much input. There's too much data coming in. Then there is the peripheral nervous system, the PNS. This is the network of nerves outside of that central nervous system. This is divided into the somatic and autonomic nervous system. This is what connects your central nervous system to your limbs and organs. This is what makes your heart work. This is what makes your limbs move. This PNS system is important for transmitting that sensory and the motor signals. It tells you to walk. It tells you to run from the fucking lion. It is extremely important for everything that you interact with in your environment. It controls the voluntary movements and those reflex arcs. So fucking the knee. All right, so then there's also, so if we go into in that PNS, we've got the autonomic nervous system, the ANS. This controls the involuntary actions. So this is the thing that helps you breathe. This is the thing that makes your heart or your blood go around you without you needing to think about it. These are the things that happen automatically within your nervous system. It regulates your functions such as that heart rate, your digestion, and your respiratory rate. It is also divided into the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, this is where most humans are aware of or have heard of fight or flight and freeze, rest and digest. This is where we talk about window of tolerance. This is where I'll spend most of this episode talking about the nervous system and why we're fucked. So the sympathetic nervous system prepares you and the body for stressful situations. So we want to be able to go into sympathetic nervous system, like into that sympathetic state when we are in danger, when we are wanting to perform in a competition or at our best. We are, though, living a life where we are in our sympathetic nervous system when we don't need to be. So when you lose your shit because the aircon is not working, you are in your sympathetic nervous system. And you don't need to be, right? The parasympathetic nervous system is what promotes the relaxation and recovery. This is why breathwork is trending so much. This is why people are making sense of parasympathetic. They're getting into the fucking ice bath to put themselves into sympathetic to actually understand what is true stress versus what is created stress, so that they can actually then understand, oh, if that is sympathetic, then what is the opposite to that? Because everything's energy. So the ice baths, the reason people like them for the fucking Insta photos is because it makes them look hardcore and cool. And I mean, you literally are cool. You're in a fucking ice bath. Anyway, so you're putting yourself into sympathetic because we don't know we're living there so much that we can't see the fact that we're living in that stressful state. So we need a highly stressful situation to show us that extreme so that we can actually then experience what it feels like to be in the opposite. Because we've literally got people who will lie on the floor for breathwork after an ice bath, so they've gone up and then they just go to sleep. They go to the fucking complete extreme. And these are usually people who have really shit sleep at nighttime because their insomnia or whatever label or diagnosis they've been given, they're unable. So they go all the way to switch off, which is also actually sympathetic a lot of the time because they're frozen. They disassociate, so they go to sleep. But because we've put them into that cold exposure, they then go to sleep because their body can go there. They can actually go into parasympathetic. Those are the two main parts of the nervous system that people are probably talking about and the things that you're hearing about on all the things, socials, fucking whatever, right? So the regulation of your bodily functions, your breath, your heart rate, your ability to digest, this is incredibly important. The problem we have as humans is that many of us overbreathe. Many of us are through our mouth. It's just keeping us in sympathetic. We were born to be nasal breathers. And I am the biggest mouth breather in the history of the world in the past. I've been doing a lot of work of getting to nasal breathing. And as I've done my breathwork training, I have learnt and been able to see the difference that learning how to breathe properly, why that's important. And you might be rejecting that on when you're reading about it of, oh, I fucking already know how to breathe. It's probably important that I know how to breathe. Yeah, cool. Do you know how to breathe properly? Because so many of us aren't. Because we've been in this society, in this world that has us in sympathetic, that has us breathing faster, which means we don't have enough CO2 levels in ourselves to actually maintain homeostasis, balance. So then you have your heart rate's up, which is keeping you in sympathetic, which means you're having digestive issues like irritable bowel syndrome and you're blaming the fucking Coke or the cheese or whatever the fuck you want to. It's all linked. Your nervous system, when it is regulated, all of these functions go back to homeostasis. They go back to the natural way they are meant to. But when you keep trying to fix the problem with shit like coffee, with shit like pre-workout, you're going to have issues. So that is why regulating your nervous system is important, because it also coordinates those complex processes. It is the main role in emotional and psychological health. So it makes sense that if our nervous systems are fucked, why we have a mental health crisis globally. People talking about going to take your fucking shoes off and go and be grounded in the fucking grass and in the forest. Yes, that is actually very, very important. But you can either give things shit or you can actually look at the key problem. And the problem is that we've gone one way, the pendulum has swung one way, we're living in sympathetic, our window of tolerance to be able to actually handle crisis, like a real crisis, does not exist. So we go from highly stressed to shut down and nothing in between. And then we've got people who want to like, I want a gentle parent. I don't want to yell at my parents like at my children like my parents did. And then they're like berating themselves because they're yelling at their children. And they're like, I fucking told I would never do that and I'm fucking doing it. And then you're like going hardcore on yourself. You actually have to have compassion. But to have compassion, you actually have to feel, and to feel safe, you have to have a regulated nervous system. So it's all fucking linked, right? Hey, stop for a second. I know you're in the middle of building your life. If you want help with that, I can help you. Whether you join our Architect program where it's working with me one-on-one, or our Build group container, which absolutely has incredible value and will help you design and build that life faster. You can also join us to understand and design your energetic blueprint before there's a 1-day, 2-day event. You can join us there too. There is multiple different ways you can work with us at different investment points. We would love to have you there to help you get, design, and build the life that you want faster. You can see the links below. Feel free to reach out in any DM, in any social media platform. I would love to hear from you. Now, get back to building that life. So, it influences your mood. If you are a bitch to be around, this is probably your problem. Your nervous system is not regulated. Therefore, people don't want to spend time around you because you bring their energy down. Your nervous system is extremely important for having better relationships. You are a herd animal. People need to be around other people. We need to be connected. Your fucking Facebook friends or the number of likes you have does not mean true connection. Your energy field needs to feel connected to other energy fields. If you keep yourself in sympathetic, heightened anxiety, heightened anger, you are not somebody that people choose to be around because you're too fucking hard. So start with your nervous system. That's why it's at the foundation of Life by 8's framework. So I'm going to go into some tips for self-regulation because this is your responsibility. You can like externalize the responsibility onto me and be like, oh, she fucking knows everything. No, I don't. Not all of these regulation tips are going to work for everybody. It is your responsibility to find out what works for you. Breathwork is extremely fucking powerful. You think you breathe now? Yes, it's what's keeping you just alive. But you don't want to just be alive. You want to fucking live. So get back to the roots of actually, what does breath look like for me? Am I breathing in the correct way for me? This can start with practicing slow, deep breaths to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. The longer the exhale, the more you will be able to calm and relax yourself. The breathwork you may see on socials trending is usually holotropic, which is usually faster breathing, which is putting people into sympathetic so that they can have trauma release, so they can actually feel a feeling that they stored from fucking years ago. And it's really powerful, though if you're doing it and it's your first part of breathwork, it can be unsafe. So please make sure your facilitator knows what they're doing and that you are helping yourself by choosing safe places and environments to experience that. But this, what I'm talking about today, is about slow, deep breaths, the boring shit. Stuff that's not really a cool episode on your channel. It is the stuff that it's the same when people say, eat healthy, eat a balanced diet. Eat a balanced diet. They say it's that easy because it's actually that easy. Life doesn't have to be hard. So practice the slow, deep breath. So some of the things that you might have heard about is like box breathing, which is you inhale for 4, you hold your breath for 4, you exhale for 4, you hold. This is taught in the Navy SEALs a lot. It's something that we teach our children in the childcare centres. It's a really important or really basic visual that people can have as well. I love 4, 7, 8. Inhale for 4, you hold your breath for 7, and you exhale for 8. I use this in a lot of the breath flows that I do with one-on-one clients and also in our group settings. 4, 7, 8 can really slow people down fast. So if you are finding yourself in highly stressful or just life feels stressful, when you're at the traffic lights, when you're on the toilet about to pee in the morning, allow yourself to do 4, 7, 8 or box breathing. These two processes or these two techniques can really help you get into parasympathetic and bring yourself down. The benefits of this, it reduces your stress, it lowers your blood pressure, and improves your ability to focus. And man, do we need focus more than ever. It also calms the mind and the body, and it gives them the ability to actually talk to each other. It enhances your oxygen delivery to the brain, which is where your cognitive growth comes from. It's where your ability to actually perform comes from. Another tip, meditation and mindfulness. Regular mindfulness practice can help you stay present and calm the mind. Now, the reason I love breathwork over mindfulness or meditation is because it gives me an instruction or a thing to do, and I can do the thing, and then I get into the thing, and then I can do the meditation. Now, after years of doing that, I am able to do meditation. I love guided meditation, and I've been practicing the last couple of months of meditation like the fucking Buddhas do, where they don't have any sound or anybody telling them what to do. They're just sitting there. I know. I am going to do a silent retreat soon. It's very exciting. I'm excited not to talk to anyone. So focus on the present moment without judgment. So what regular meditation or mindfulness practices can do is it allows you to be here in this present moment where you actually are hearing my voice and not having to go rewind and listen to what I actually said. You're here in the moment without judgment. Oh, please fucking judge me. Like, I love that. And let me know. What is your thoughts on me if this is the first time you're hearing me? But I want you to focus on that present moment, and mindfulness allows you to do that. There is this thing called body scan, and if you want, there is another link in below where there's a body scan meditation that we have that you can listen to. It's only 8 minutes and allows you to actually make sense of what a body scan looks like or feels like. It's not the one where it tells you how much you weigh and all of that sort of shit. It's the one where you actually come into the present moment and know where your body is in this moment. And then there's also, reducing stress and enhancing focus. I'm going to stop saying that because all of this, everything I'm giving you is going to be reducing stress and enhancing your focus. And it's going to help you concentrate. Again, focus. Another tip, movement. Now, I'm not going to tell you to go and fucking do HIIT or to go and do jiu-jitsu or go and fucking do yoga or at the moment fucking reformer Pilates. Find movement that works for you. You choose. The problem is that so many of us, so many people are looking for the quick fix, the exact right thing for them. That is why I love the energetic blueprint that I do with clients, because when you know that about yourself, you have that self-awareness and you are able to choose things that are perfect for you. So find movement that works for you, that you find interesting, that you are actually wanting to do. If you are prescribed movement that you fucking hate, you're not going to go. Like you're just going to be like, do it tomorrow. I'm sick. Find movement that you like, because that is where the endorphins get released and you actually improve your mood. So if you're in a shitty mood, the first thing that I would ever say is go and move your body. Sometimes that can be a dance. And you know what is really exciting? You can dance and you don't have to record it for Instagram. You can actually just dance. And nobody has to know, right? But if you want to dance and put it on Instagram, great, let me know. I'll fucking like it, right? Like you should like this video. So engaging in regular movement can help. So that can be going for a walk. That can be doing a HIIT class. Whatever it is for you, do that. And quick things like dancing, even you might be like, this is fucking gay. Dancing can really help. But as I said, you can do it where nobody knows. Just allow your body to shake it out. The importance of this is being consistent. Because so many people will be like, oh, I did 3 weeks of exercise. I feel so fucking amazing. And then they stop doing it because they feel amazing. And then they're like, I feel like shit. And then your partner's like, oh, you got your fucking periods? It's probably that you stopped moving. So it's important to be consistent when it comes to movement. Build it into every single day. It's not just about what you look like. It's about how you feel. Because when you love how you feel, when you love yourself, no matter what you look like, the looking good, the looking great just comes as a byproduct. But if you're only doing things to look great, most of the time you're never actually going to be okay with that. You're never going to love that. So allow movement to be about loving yourself and the feeling it is to be you, not what you look like. Food, well, this is another fucking episode in itself, but we're just going to touch on this a little bit. The food that you consume supports your nervous system health, or it fucks it up. And if you think about how many of us eat processed food, who don't even know where our food came from, who are taking food from windows, not from a kitchen. So I say window like the drive-through, if you didn't pick up on that metaphor. This stuff, it will keep us alive, but it will not keep us thriving. It may also kill us early enough, but I'm not fucking qualified in this shit, so I'm not going to go into it any deeper. But I do recommend that if you are having issues with your diet and with food, is get a dietitian, see a naturopath, get a nutritionist, whatever it is extremely important for your nervous system health. So be aware of the food that you are eating. There are certain nutrients that will help you, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin B and D, antioxidants. It's a reason why we talk about getting sunlight in the morning. As soon as you wake up, getting sunlight in your eyes. And don't look at the fucking sun. I mean, get your skin, get your body out. Not through a window. Actually, there's a lot of things that aren't good to get through windows, hey. But anyway, getting yourself out into the sun each day is going to give you some vitamin D. And if you're going to be out there for longer than half an hour, please wear sunscreen. And also, just so you know, this is all for entertainment purposes. I am not qualified in this shit, so take it with a grain of salt and do with it what you will. But yeah, that's your responsibility to choose what you want to do with it. Foods, fish, nuts, leafy greens, fruits, all the things. And if you're allergic to fish or nuts, please don't fucking eat them. That's why it's important to get somebody who's an expert in this field to help you understand what diet, what nutrition, what food is best for you. And if you're somebody who likes the woo-woo shit, look at your human design, because it'll also give you insight into the type of food that you could eat for your system. Drink fucking water. You could tell me it's boring, and you don't have to have Engergen or whatever the fuck that water is that people have through the things that, you have to buy 5K. Wow, I'm on a fucking... Drink water. Yes, it would be great if it's filtered. It doesn't have to be fucking ionic or some shit, but just make sure you're drinking water, because hydration matters. And if you're listening to this and you're somebody who sells the water, I don't own it, so you can try to sell to me under, because I'll learn from you about sales techniques. But all I want people to know is to drink more water. And I'm somebody who, for some reason, has never loved coffee. I fucking hate the smell of it. So I've never had the issue of excessive caffeine. And sugar, like I'm more of a chips and gravy human. So I actually have like the salt problem more than the sugar problem. But definitely caffeine and sugar. So many people in society are over consuming this, and this is keeping your nervous system in a heightened state. So if you can avoid it or you can fuck it off completely, then do that. Hydration, it improves your brain function, your energy levels, everything, every area of your life. Your skin, you your collagen and all the things. You just look better when you drink lots of water. And the getting rid of the caffeine and the sugar helps the spikes and the crashes in the energy that you may have, and your nervous system then has to carry the load of that. The number one tip that I give humans is fucking sleep. Ensuring sufficient and quality sleep makes sure that your nervous system can actually recover and function. All the different places in the world, governments recommend different amounts of sleep, but the average seems to be 8, which works for me, being Life by 8, though recommended 7 to 9 hours per night. Do you know how many people are not getting this? Like, do you know how many people are like, I'm fucking in the hustle at the moment, I'm building the fucking business, and that's great for a period of time, and that might be required when you've had a newborn. Like, our bodies are able to adapt when we have to do those things. But the thing is that we're doing those things for too long, which is keeping our nervous system fucked. So you might have one night with shit sleep and you can cope and you're okay, but you start doing 7, 14 nights in a row where you're not sleeping properly, your nervous system, no matter what you do, no matter how many fucking cold baths, cold exposure showers you fucking have, how many breathwork sessions you do, you can't fucking force it. Sleep is required for your body to heal. And it's boring. Unless you're like me, who has really great imagination and my dreams are amazing. But your sleep stages, they're required. You need to go through REM and non-REM. You need all of the cycles. So the tips for a good sleep is to have a consistent sleep schedule. There is a lot of fucking research in this about going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time. I deliberately design my life so I don't have to fucking have an alarm clock. Yes, I know many of you are envious of that. And great, design your life around whatever you want. But for me, the alarm set my nervous system off from the beginning. And so since I was 16, since I moved out of home, I don't have alarm clocks. I have them the moments where I have to be at the airport or like here recording today, certain things, right? But also I choose the tone I have so it's not like a holy fuck you're awake scenario. Allow yourself to have those consistent sleep schedules and your body will get into a routine. Relax your bedtime routine. So I speak into, in a lot of the work I do with Life by 8, is about having that morning routine and that evening routine. And even when I speak about parenting and early childhood, the importance of those things. Now, sometimes that's not possible in the life that we live. Sometimes it feels like the banging that you may hear in the background, where it's all just like, I've got to be here and I've got to be there and all the things are everywhere. But allowing yourself to have the same process in your routine. So what I mean by that is when I had my second child, I was like, well, he's just got to fit into our life. Or even when I had our first child, like I didn't really stop work, which I knew I would be like that from the beginning. But by allowing the same routine to happen at night, so the same thing would happen before he would have a bath or a shower, the same thing would happen before he would go to sleep. It may be a different time because of the life that we were living and having the older sibling and training and all of those sort of things. But it allowed his body to know that when this happened, it meant that this was going to happen, which meant this was going to happen, which meant this was going to happen, which means I was going to go to sleep really easy. And that's the magic of having consistent routines. Yes, if you can have it, Tizzy Hall is somebody that a lot of people criticize because of the way she talks about babies and sleep, but she talks about don't miss the 7 p.m. bus. That's probably not possible in the lives that many of us live, but the thing is that you can do the same routine in multiple different environments. So if you've got split homes, those sort of things, you can have that agreement where you're doing the same thing and it helps the child relax. I know I'm talking about children because it's easier for you to hear what I'm saying when I'm not talking about you, but I'm actually fucking talking about you. You need to do the thing too. You need to have that consistency. And sleep is absolutely number one for this when it comes to regulating your nervous system. You need to create a dark, cool and quiet place. The biggest thing I say to clients, don't fucking charge your phones in your bedroom. Allow screens, allow all of that to be out of your room so that you don't have that distraction, but you also don't have that vibration, that frequency around you as well. So allowing them to be out there means that you're less likely to get into a scrolling, like whatever they fucking call it, the loop where you just lose time. It allows your body to shut off, and there's stuff about blue light and all of that stuff. I'm not going to go into that. But also connection. So building and maintaining and supporting emotional connections with people is important for your nervous system to be regulated, because when we're young, we co-regulate. And then we get to an age where it's your responsibility to self-regulate. But it doesn't mean you have to be just with self. You will get regulation from being around others too, which is why if your nervous system is fucked and you're doing nothing about it, nobody wants to be around you because you're putting them into a heightened nervous system state. So it's important to have relationships and connect, because it's going to help you regulate, help others co-regulate, and that's what we need as humans. So I guess wrapping it up is your nervous system is all of those things. You can learn more about it in the other videos that are linked below, but it's really important to know that it's your responsibility to do this. And I've gone through the importance of sleep. I've gone through the importance of your food. I've gone through the importance of movement, sunlight. These are all things that don't require you to add more onto your to-do list. It's just asking you to do things slightly differently. It doesn't have to be more. It's do different. And so let me know your thoughts below about what changes you made. And just start with one. You don't have to do all or nothing. You don't have to do all of it. Just choose one thing to give it a go, to do something that you already do differently. Breathe differently. Eat differently. Move differently. I'm not asking you to do more. I'm just asking you to do different and to give it a go, and to let me know what that does for your nervous system. Because ultimately, the more people that I can help get regulated nervous systems, the better I know this world will be, and the better I know relationships, families, humanity will be better. Thank you for joining me living life by 8. If this episode hit home, brought value to you in any way, I would love your support with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And don't forget to subscribe on your favorite platform too. And don't let your journey end here. Connect with me and my community at Rebecca Grugan on all social platforms. I look forward to going deeper with you on your journey.